right, so my background is in instructional communication and interpersonal communication. So I love student engagement. We've heard everybody kind of mentioning this, this buzzword, but I find having taught online classes for a few years now that it's putting the horse in front of the cart oftentimes. So I know classroom climate, we have our sparkling personalities and we can engage with students and interact with students and have spontaneous discussion in the classroom. And so we try to recreate this in the online classroom, but it's not enough, right? So creating discussion boards and opportunities for interaction really is not, oftentimes students get confused because they don't even know what they're supposed to be doing. They're trying to figure out online learning to begin with. And so when we look at the online learning climate, the course structure and the clarity of the course become very important online. So I have, through trial and error, found that students oftentimes don't even know what an online class consists of. What are they supposed to be doing? And so I wanted to take a closer look at the course clarity. Again, lots of, it's a lot of putting out fires and making sure that students know what they're doing. I am the course coordinator for a UK core class that teaches first-year students. And so oftentimes they come in, they don't even know what Canvas is. So the course organization is really important. I had a student email me 2 weeks into the course in the fall to ask me where TBA was, because they just couldn't find it on a campus map. They didn't even know that it was an online class. So try to make it very, very clear, starting with the homepage, the first thing that they see. So here's the syllabus, here's the schedule, but also here's where you start. Okay, so start here to figure out how this class works. And so I try to set it up very clearly for them from the very beginning. So that first week of classes is 100%, those 3 days, it's a short week, devoted to just figuring out how the class works. So I record a tour of our Canvas shell and tell them where to go every week. I have a course overview. So every week they know that there's going to be a video announcement on Sunday morning, and then they're going to work their way through the module for that week. And every module is going to have course content. There will be comprehension checks. There will be, these different things. And so they know exactly what to do. Okay, so I walk them through this and, of course, tell them to read through the syllabus. And then I have found that we need a quiz, because you tell them to read through it and watch it, but you don't know if they do. So just to make sure that they know what they're doing. And then at the beginning of the second week, I send out a Google form. Is this your first online class? What questions, what's your confidence level with our Canvas course? What questions do you still have? And then I answer all of those questions and I send it out to the students so that I make sure that by the middle of week 2, they know what they're doing. So then we can actually engage with the course material. Every course content page is set up the same way, so it's got the same categories, so they know when they go for the week what they're going to have there. So the organization. But like I said, first-year students don't even necessarily know how things work in Canvas. So you ask them to submit a video response to a discussion board, or you ask them to respond to a quiz, and they don't know how to do that. And so I've just been compiling, making sure that I make it very clear from the get-go what kind of technical requirements the course has. You'd be surprised how many times you have a student taking an online course and they send you a message like, oh, well, I'm going to be in another country with no internet access. Maybe you shouldn't be taking an online class. Okay, so providing lots of resources, which I'll kind of get to with this too. Even in face-to-face classes, we need to make sure our assignment instructions are clear, but I have found that particularly in the online environment because we don't have those face-to-face meetings where we can clarify and they can ask questions. So this includes, I was shocked. I had an assignment where they had to revise something using track changes, and nobody knew. It was like chaos and panic. They didn't know how to use track changes. So even if there's every little piece of the process, making that clear. Making sure to bullet or number things so they can really see step by step every detail, avoiding vague instructions like peer reviews, provide constructive feedback. Well, I'll tell you what you're going to get. You're going to get a good job in the comment box as opposed to having specific questions. And of course, I have rubrics for everything because, again, especially first-year students, they don't know those college expectations to begin with, and then we don't have those face-to-face interactions. So we know that college students prioritize instructor clarity as a necessity in the classroom, whereas immediacy behaviors and engagement, they categorize more as a luxury. And so this is particularly true in an online course where they don't have those opportunities to clarify things. So moving forward, I'm going to continue building my resources, making sure that my design is very clear and making it more universally accessible to enhance that clarity for everybody.